What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Saturday morning episode of the Daily Juice Podcast. My name is Matt Peralt. You guys can follow me across all of my socials at Sports Talk Matt, and this podcast is being brought to you by our friends at DraftKings. So we are on a little bit of a heater in the month of November. It's been a couple of good nights since I came back after the health scare. 2-1 last night. We do not get the under to come in. Cal and Wake was way more high scoring, so college football misses, but we are now 3-0. To start the college basketball season. UMass loses but covers. North Carolina loses but covers. We come in with both wins there in the college hoops ranks. We miss on football. So 2-1, up 0.9 units on the day. So up 0.8 2 nights ago, up 0.9 last night. So we head towards the weekend with a pretty good run here and a decent shot to have a winning week to start the month of November. I've got 3 college football plays and 1 college basketball play for us here. I'm going a little chalky. I hate when my card winds up this chalky, so I'm a little bit on the uneasy side about the card today, but I will tell you this. I am going to attempt to do the live chat tomorrow morning. I've been feeling better. I'm now back under the lights. I think I can handle a 30-minute live chat as long as the app works. It didn't work last week. Last week it didn't work. So hopefully it works this week. So if it works, we're going to be on at 8 o'clock in the morning on the Discord channel for a live chat. I'll give you every bet I'm making for Saturday. My full card, I'll give it to you. And then we'll talk for 15, 20 minutes about whatever else you guys want to talk about. 11 a.m. Eastern time, 8 a.m. Pacific time for the Week 11 live chat. Or is it Week 10? It's Week 11, right? Yeah, I think it's Week 11. Week 11 for college football. We'll do that coming up here for us today. 8 o'clock in the morning, Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, bettingpros.com/chat. This podcast is being brought to you by DraftKings Pick 6. New players, you play $5, you'll get $50 instantly in Pick 6 credits when you use the code JUICE at sign up with the new DraftKings Pick 6 app. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. 18 plus in most jurisdictions, but other age and eligibility restrictions may apply. Valid only in jurisdictions where DraftKings Pick 6 operates. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including but not limited to New York and California. Void where prohibited. One new Pick 6 customer gets $5 in their first pick to receive $50 issued as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 30 days. For terms, go to pick6.draftkings.com/promos. Okay, let's talk about Penn State. Penn State, this number is down to 12. I don't understand why. So Washington is 0-4 ATS on the road this year. Now, Penn State is 1-4, but Penn State under James Franklin at home with a line between 6 and 24 points, this guy's an absolute cash cow. Since the start of the 2022 season, as the Action Network pointed out this week, Penn State is 4-0 straight up and 3-1 ATS after straight up losses, winning by 9 on a 30-plus point line in their only ATS loss. Like they are... they're 3-1, but they won by 9 in that game. They had a 30-point line. They won by 9. They're 4-0 straight up. Now, teams playing after Ohio State have not fared well. 9-13 ATS as favorites. So I think that's kind of the thought process that you lose to Ohio State, so there's a hangover effect. But since 2018, Penn State is 35-10 straight up at home. 40% of those losses have come against Ohio State. They're 35-6 straight up against all other teams during that homestand. And, Penn State has been very good in the next game after playing a top 5 opponent. They're 4-1 straight up ATS. They're 20-4. They've won 5 straight games ATS, or 5 straight games straight up, and 4-1 ATS in those games. 20-4 overall, historically, after facing top 5 teams. Look, Washington has not been good on the road. They've been brutal. This has been a tough time for them going to the Eastern time zone. The 4th game for Washington playing in the Eastern time zone. They're 1-3 straight up and 1-3 ATS during that stretch. In the last 20 years, Washington has made 7 trips to the East as dogs. They're 0-4 straight up. It dropped down to 12. I don't understand it. I'm laying the 12. Give me Penn State minus 12 here. for the Nittany Lions to bounce back. James Franklin to maybe get a late touchdown in the game to cover that 12-point line for the alumni. Penn State wins it by 14. I'll lay the 12 points with Penn State minus 12 for 1.1 units. Second bet, it's the Holy War. It's Utah and BYU. Look, this thing is awesome. It was last played in Utah back in 2018. BYU broke a 9-game losing streak to Utah in their last game there in 2021. They have not won consecutive meetings since the 06-07 seasons, but BYU has been listed as a favorite 13 times against Utah since 1993, and they're 2-11 ATS in those games, losing the last 4 ATS. Here's the problem. I am not backing Utah without Cam Rising. I can't do it. I'm sorry, I just can't do it. You've got a young quarterback who has just not been good this season. Utah is 1-3 ATS at home. They haven't covered in their last 4 games. They've lost all 4, lost by 3 on the road against Houston, 6 at home against TCU, 8 on the road to Arizona State, and 13 at home to Arizona. I'm sorry. BYU is 7-1 ATS. They're undefeated on the year. They're 4-0 on the road. They covered by 16 points last week against UCF. They covered by 9 points against Baylor. They were dogs to Baylor. They were dogs to Central Florida. They were laying 9.5 against Wyoming. They won by 20, and they were 12-point dogs to SMU, and they won by 3. This is always, when it comes time to like a total of 40 in a massive rivalry game, I almost always take the points, in particular on the road. Once this hit 3, give me BYU. I'm sorry. I can't do it. Give me BYU. I'm laying the 3 points. I can't trust Utah. I can't trust Zach Wilson's brother. Just too many mistakes. Their defense is phenomenal. Utah's defense is great. This could be a really low-scoring game. This could be like, 20-14 type final. I'll lay the 3 points with BYU. It's got push potential written all over it, okay? This game absolutely could be a push, but I'm going to lay the 3 with BYU. And finally, with college basketball, Nevada is at Boise State. The number is 23.5. Boise is 3-1 this year at home. ATS, home against San Diego State, they were laying 24.5. They won by 32. They laid 28 against Utah State. They won by 32. They laid 6.5 against Washington State. They won by 21. Against Portland State, they laid 43. They won by 42. That's the only non-game they didn't cover, okay? It's not like that was like a tough spot for them for some reason. Boise is 21-0 straight up and 18-2-1 ATS as a favorite of 17 points or more since 2017. They want Genty to get the Heisman. They're going to put up big numbers here. I think they're going to house Nevada, a team that just really hasn't been good this year at all. Nevada's 2-2 on the road this year, ATS, but they lost to Hawaii by 21 points as 2.5-point dogs on the road, and they lost to Colorado State at home as 2-point dogs by 17. They've lost 3 games in a row, and 4 of 5. Boise runs over them. Lay the 23.5 points with Boise State here today for college football. All right, so it's chalky. I don't like playing all these favorites, but I played all dogs a couple weeks ago. I got destroyed. Maybe I'll get destroyed again by playing all dogs, but Penn State minus 12, BYU minus 3, Boise State minus 23.5 are my 3 college football plays for today. The one college basketball play, like I mentioned, I'm now 3-0 in college basketball. Let's talk about 2 great teams. Auburn at Houston. Toyota Center is where this game is going to be played. This is a semi-home game, but this is a home game, okay? Big-time opportunity for both Houston and Auburn. Here's the problem. The Auburn team playing had to be turned around last night because the basketball players got into a fight. Not a physical fight, but a screaming fight with each other. Now, that might be guys just blowing off steam. It might be guys nervous about a big game, whatever it might be. But when you're taking on Kelvin Sampson and the Houston Cougars, you better be buttoned up and ready to go. Okay, you better be ready to go. This is not what you want. This is scary on so many levels. This number opened up at 3.5. It's already up to 5.5 at certain books. I got 5 last night here for Houston, laying 5. Bunch of reasons why. Well, one, KenPom, who I now will bring back to our lexicon. It's great to see. KenPom has it as a 3-point win for Houston. Okay, so, Take that for what it is. These are two incredibly talented teams, okay? This is the number 1, number 2 team, according to KenPom. KenPom is Auburn 2, Houston 1. This is a 9:30 Eastern time start on ESPNU, by the way, if you're going to go try to find this basketball game. I know it's a college football day, but it's a hell of a game. Houston's number 1 in defense. Auburn is number 2 in defensive efficiency so far. One game in, okay? So, I mean, come on. Long way to go here in college basketball. But Auburn has not fared well in these games. They've lost 10 straight games against top 10 teams. Okay, 10 straight. This is a team in Houston that has been just dynamic in the non-conference. They have dominated non-conference. Houston in the first half, I love that bet. You want to take Houston first half? They have been so good in the first half. That was a bet we made a ton last year. Was Houston laying points in the first half? Should be somewhere around 2.5, 3. Okay. Houston first half. Like it a lot. Houston for the game. Like it a lot. Under. I like that play a lot too. If you want to come in and tell me you can take the under, don't mind that at all. It's 143.5 or 144. That's really low. Like really low for teams that can get up and score. So I don't know. I'm concerned about that. That seemed a little bit too low to me. So I don't know about the under, but I don't mind it because I like Houston to shut down Auburn, and it could be a game in the 60s, and then it's going way under. It's very possible. So if you want to play Houston first half, like it. If you want to play Houston for the game, I'm making it official. If you want to pick the game to the under, don't mind that either, okay? But officially, we're laying the 5 with Houston here with Kelvin Sampson and this great talented roster of players that he has. They are on a mission to cut down the Nets in the national championship and get back to the Final Four here. I can't wait to watch this game. I think just in this of a matchup, we're going to lay the short number here. We took the points with North Carolina last night. I'm going to lay the points here, just given what happened with Auburn and their, where are they going to be mentally? You're going into Houston. This is yikes. If Auburn was at home, I would feel much better, but they're not. They're on the road. It's not on campus, but it's going to be a really loud, big building of all Cougar fans there to scream and yell and get after it. You got opposing styles. Auburn wants to run. Auburn wants to go up tempo. Auburn wants to have a lot of possessions. Houston wants the exact opposite. Houston wants to shut them down. Houston wants to make them really run. Auburn's average possession length of 14.9 seconds is one of the fastest right now, top 50 in the country. Houston, it's 257th, to give you an idea. Okay? They're going to make you work. Auburn's 287th, but that might be because of who they played. Playing an easy cupcake W for them in the first game, in the first win for Auburn this season when they went and took care of Vermont 94-43. Houston's a much different animal, but they beat Jackson State 97-40. Auburn's a much different animal as well here for this one. It's going to be a ton of fun. Can't wait to watch this huge war, huge brawl. We're going with 3 bets in college football and 1 bet in college basketball today. Penn State -12, BYU -3, Boise State -23.5, in college basketball, Houston -5, all for 1.1 units. I will talk to you on the BettingPros Discord channel, bettingpros.com/chat to join me. I'll give you some more college football plays, thoughts on LSU and Alabama, thoughts on West Virginia, thoughts on what are some other games that I was staring at that I didn't make official. We'll talk about Pitt a little bit, Army. We'll talk about them. We'll get into those plays and those thoughts later on this morning here. But LSU, Auburn, LSU, Alabama, obviously the big game here in college football for today. I don't have an official play on that, but I'll give you some thoughts on LSU and Alabama later on today. My name is Matt Peralta. Follow me across all socials at Sports Talk Matt every morning. The Daily Juice Podcast, presented by DraftKings.